president's in a great mood. The president's been in a great mood because we've had not just a successful couple of days, we've had a successful year, and we're very focused on making sure we have 7 more.
Well, President Trump capping off an extraordinarily successful week here in the United States. The economy, of course, we saw the jobs report crushing those estimates, 313,000 jobs created last month. Also, there's a new Marist poll out that says Trump is at 42% approval rating. That is the highest he has reached in this particular poll since taking office. And then, of course, President signing historic legislation on steel and aluminum tariffs to counter unfair trade practices. And then the big foreign policy coup of them all. A planned meeting now with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in hopes of ending their nuclear ambitions. Joining me now, Beverly Hallberg, president of District Media Group, Adriana Cohen, syndicated columnist and Boston Herald radio host, and back with us, Katrina Pearson. Katrina, since I'm not sure what your answer is going to be, I'm going to save you for last and start with Beverly. Beverly, you have to say, President Trump began the week with Republicans jeering and screaming and pulling their hair out, gnashing their teeth over tariffs, and we end the week and everyone's giving them a standing ovation.
Well, we're ending this week with what they all did agree on, which was tax reform. This is largely due to the tax reform we saw passed in January. People are seeing more money in their paychecks. Businesses are hiring more because they have more certainty. And let's not forget, this is also about the regulations that all through 2017, the president did roll back. When it comes to tariffs, I don't think these numbers reflect tariffs at all. And I would want us to see what happens next February, next March at this time. A year later, what are we going to see from these tariffs? But this is largely due to tax reform, and I'm so thankful Republicans did agree on that.
You know what, though, Adriana, even critics of President Trump are saying, for instance, this North Korean meeting could be something special. Certainly no president has been able to pull it off. There's a certain degree of skepticism. There's no doubt about that. But it's amazing to me to have the jobs numbers that we have, to have the economy that we have, and now they have perhaps one of these big historic foreign policy moves.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you getting tired of winning yet, Charles?
No. Not yet. Hashtag not yet.
That's right, because he's had an incredible week. These jobs numbers, as you pointed out, were fantastic. And now he's making history by finally getting this rogue regime to sit down and negotiate. And yes, a healthy dose of skepticism is in order. And that's smart that President Trump is not going to offer any concessions whatsoever until they sit down and they talk. But one precondition I think he must demand before even sitting down to talk with North Korea is the release of those 3 American hostages. You know, that was a mistake that President Obama did not do when he was negotiating the Iran deal. And then later he had to pony up $150 billion to release those American hostages. We don't want to make that same mistake again. And so I hope that that is a precondition. But with respect to the tariffs, I agree with Beverly. We haven't even seen the effect of that. That's just going to be coming out in the next 2 weeks. So it's just going to be incredible, especially given the fact that the infrastructure plan is coming our way.
Right.
And, 43% of all that steel and aluminum goes towards infrastructure.
Right. And Katrina, the whole tariff thing, I think, is part of a bigger game plan to sort of fix the playing field with respect to trade, especially NAFTA. So we'll get some ideas on where that goes from here. But again, considering that a lot of folks in the GOP were screaming, and it's like, hey, be cool, just because we see the results, to Beverly's point, of past actions by this administration. We saw them come to fruition with that jobs report.
Well, what else is new, Charles? The president had to drag some of the Republicans across the finish line on this tax bill. Just the mere mention of what the president wanted to do with taxes started to move the economy, which I think helped them get on board a little bit. And there is more to come. With regards to North Korea and coming up, the president said before he was even elected that he would sit down with a world leader. Sometimes you just have to look a man in the eye and then make a decision. I think Adriana's right. I think there are going to be conditions that have been met. And if we think about the president, when he went to Egypt, a hostage was released. When he went to China, basketball players were released, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
So real quick, because we didn't answer, and just yes and no because we're running out of time. Best week or the best is yet to come, Katrina?
Best is yet to come, but it was an amazing week.
Beverly?
I think it's been a good January and February, not so sure moving forward.
Adriana?
It was one of his best weeks, but again, the best is yet to come. President Trump is restoring the American dream before our very eyes, and it's a great time to be an American under his leadership.
Ladies, thank you all very, very much. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again real soon. Well, the major averages having a huge